When it comes to the words and names associated with the world of rock and roll, few are more synonymous or outright iconic as the two words Les Paul. Whether speaking of the guitar or the man himself, the influence of both are impossible to overstate. And yet there's much behind the man that has become slightly lost over the decades. The man in question was born Lester Pulsfuss in 1915 in Wisconsin, and he began playing music at only 8 years old, playing the harmonica. Only a year or two later, he developed a neck-worn device so he could play his harmonica whilst playing guitar simultaneously, and this basic model is still used to this day. When he was about 13, he was already playing semi-professionally, and in an effort to make his sound a bit different, he wired a phonograph needle to a radio speaker, making it possible to amplify his acoustic guitar in a slightly different manner. During the mid-1930s, he moved to Chicago and he began recording under the name Les Paul, pulling influence from almost every style of music at the time, especially from artists like Art Tatum and Django Reinhardt, among many others. In the early 1940s, Les Paul was rather frustrated with the different guitar models available, so he started to develop his own prototypes. In doing this, he was trying to deal with the different sound problems that arose from the idea of taking an acoustic guitar and amplifying it electrically. Over that decade, Les Paul played with almost every single music icon you can think of, and in about 1948, the Gibson Guitar Corporation started to manufacture one of his prototypes, mostly to compete with the newly released Fender Broadcaster guitar. In 1961, Gibson changed the model design without informing Les Paul, and he really didn't like the redesign. This led to the company removing his name from the headstock and renaming that the Gibson SG. The fact of the matter is, the model we know today as the Gibson Les Paul didn't really take flight until Eric Clapton started playing it in the mid-1960s, and this exact model would soon be spun off in a less expensive version by the Gibson subsidiary Epiphone. However, aside from his innovations on guitar, Les Paul was massively influential within the studio environment, as he made huge inroads in the world of recording technology, working with tape speeds and how to manipulate multi-track recordings, and it's been said that he even developed his own disc cutter that he made out of used car parts. In fact, a majority of the methods that Les Paul developed in terms of multi-track recordings are still used to this day. Whether it was due to the songs that he wrote and played, the massive innovations and creations he made as a guitarist, or the approaches that he took in the studio and recording environment, the fact of the matter is there may be no other figure in all of music history that stands on the same level as the great Les Paul.